Roadkill Extra appears every single weekday at Motor Trend On Demand. It's a show that gives you question and answer sessions, deeper looks into our project vehicles, behind the scenes stuff, and here's a sample right now of one of the shows that you missed last week on MotorTrendOnDemand.com. You can watch them all with a 30-day free trial. I have to admit, I felt pretty guilty.
Why?
Well, we were towing the Crusher Camaro when this thing blew up. And
overheated nuclear style?
Nuclear.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was like Fukushima.
It was really bad. All the coolant went away. And you know, when we took the head off,
it just puked.
It had water coming out of the cylinder.
So we're talking about the 360 small block Mopar that's been in this thing ever since we did that episode on the shootout between the Mopar Muscle Truck and the original Roadkill Chevy Muscle Truck.
That was really weird. And let me give you a little background on that 360 that was in here.
Okay.
That whole engine came out of a step van in the wrecking yard in about 2002.
Okay.
It was a reman and it was brand new. I was like, wow, score. It's already all machined. It was low compression at the time, but it was pretty good, because it was hardly even used at all when the thing got junked. And so I used it for all kinds of dyno stories and testing all kinds of stuff.
It was just the mule for years.
And I put it into Fifth Avenue. I had it in there. It broke a crank in half.
Oh yeah?
So it sat in the shop for a couple of years. I put another crank in it, and then...
This is all without machining the block?
No, never remachined the block. Still 40 over.
Yeah.
And then about 5 years ago, me and my buddy Bryce rebuilt it in one morning for another dyno test where we repistoned it, put in a balanced rotating assembly with scat rods and another, well, I guess we used the same crank because we had replaced it before. And it made about 500 and some odd horsepower there, but it was still 40 over straight from the junkyard. We just gave it a dingle ball hone. So.
And that's what was in it the whole time we did that episode.
It's not like I bored it out bigger and then, you know, broke through somewhere. It was whatever the thickness of that bore was from day one, and I got 18 years use out of it when
before
it blew
it
up.
developed a pinhole leak.
Yeah. So.
Well, it happened while we were towing my Crusher, so I felt guilty. But then, well, I figured this would languish.
I couldn't be without a truck.
Yeah?
That was the thing. So I had a 318, which was another dyno mule that we used for a million stories. It actually threw a rod through the cylinder wall and had a sleeve put in it, and that's in the truck right now.
Yeah, that's what this is?
But it was rebuilt with the sleeve. It's got a KB hypereutectic piston. It's got stock rods. It has a 273 steel crank. It's a little over 10-to-1. These cylinder heads are your old heads from the Orange Duster.
Yeah, those are ported, heavily angle milled heads from Hughes Performance.
Yeah, and they're perfect for a 318 because the small chamber is what you need with the flat top piston to get compression ratio. So it's about, well, between 10 and 10.5 to 1.
Oh, you just have a regular performer on that thing.
It's a regular performer, but it's ported. And the reason I did that is because this air conditioning compressor won't bolt to an RPM. So it's got a bracket in the back.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to use that accessory package, so I was forced into that manifold.
I was asking about the intake manifold because normally Dulcich and I would use the Edelbrock RPM manifold, which is a taller, it's a high-rise dual plane. This is just the standard cruising model. It's kind of like a stock 364 barrel intake with a poly flange.
Yeah, and actually if you take one of those brand new out of the box and compare it to a stock iron manifold, it's a toss-up.
Right.
Yeah.
But will this one accept a thermal quad?
It'll take a thermoquad or a squirter bore.
Oh, okay.
So I went with the Edelbrock carburetor. I had it. It's an 800, which people think is way too big for a 318.
Oh, no way. Not with a Edelbrock, because I don't know how they rate them, but it's not the same as a Holly.
Yeah, I ran that very same carburetor on a completely bone stock 318 with an old Street Master manifold, and the thing would burn rubber all day long.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
Yeah, it was good.
So, also, this thing fires up like instantly.
Well, I just needed to have a truck. I don't even know if we can call it the Mopar Muscle Truck anymore.
I was going to ask exactly that.
I was
thinking,
too anemic? Maybe we'll just call it the Mopar Fitness Truck now.
Fitness. It's just sort of a little bit trim and not exactly muscular.
Yeah, but you know, for a 318, this thing really surprises, and actually it revs out like crazy. So
let's go for a ride.
I'm pretty happy with it.
I'm glad it's just running and driving again.
Yeah, it's good.
Think you'll ever put that 408 in it now?
Probably.
Still sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
If you need more Roadkill Extra, go sign up for the 30-day free trial right now.